So what town are we driving through right now?
We're in the town of Pichátaro, one of the autonomous communities of the state of Michoacan. And according to the US government, this is like a super no-go zone. You get inside of the town, you could die, according to these guys. But
This is Rudkowski of WeAreChange.org here with Jeff Berwick, the dollar vigilante. And as you guys know, Jeff Berwick is one of the biggest proponents of anarchy, and he runs one of the biggest anarchist conferences out there, Anarapulco, promoting the philosophy of anarchy. And today's story, which is kind of risky what we're doing here, the U.S. State Department has issued many warnings specifically for U.S. citizens not to go to the state of Michoacan. Probably mispronouncing that. Michoacan, saying specifically that there's a great risk, especially in the cities that we were just in, of kidnapping, of murder, and a lot of dangerous criminal activity happening here. You hear it all over the mainstream media, all over the local press here. But the story that we're covering today really puts a lot of that into question and really promotes the ideas of anarchy.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just entering Cheran right now, which is fairly well known that about 10 years ago they kicked out all government, all politicians, and the police, and basically all crime stopped. So what the U.S. State Department is saying is the exact opposite of what's actually happened. And we just drove through a few towns here, and they're called self-autonomous zones. There's a self-patrol, community patrol sort of a thing here. Probably one of the nicest little towns I've ever seen in my life. Everyone was so friendly, so relaxed, so tranquil. I was expecting, we drove up in a big black SUV, we're a couple of gringos, that we might get some looks. Everyone's smiling and waving, and I really want to stay here. I feel so great knowing that no politicians or cops can come in here.
Yeah. I mean, we were just in the local town, and I really needed to pee. I was drinking way too many fruit juices, and I'm just like, crap, where the hell's the baño? ¿Dónde es baño? ¿Dónde es baño? And like this family just let me use their bathroom, just walked me right in. They're like, yeah, I just use the regular one. I tried to give them 5 pesos. They're like, no, we don't want any of that. But the story that we're covering, because we're just going into Cheran right now, we just literally passed the checkpoint to get in. And this is a zone where government and police are not allowed, as well as political parties. If someone enters through this checkpoint with a political party sticker, they're going to have to take them off before entering here, because the town here says that the political parties divide and conquer people, just like we see in the United States with the Democrats and Republicans, the kind of ideas and philosophies of many people just saying, well, we got to vote for the lesser of two evils, where Hillary's a lot, she's still bad, she's still really bad, but she's not as bad as Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is not as bad as Hillary Clinton, we got to vote for him. They don't have any of those problems here. They have a decentralized model that we're going to go in and investigate on how they run with assemblies. But already there are some dangers coming here, obviously with this city pissing off the authorities, pissing off a lot of organized crime. So we've been kind of quiet on where we're going. We're going to release this video when we leave here safely, of course. But there's also crazy stories of just local towns here where helicopters came in and started shooting people from the government. I mean, what are some of the security concerns, and what are some of the things you're hearing before coming into this town?
Just let this truck, Perla Negra truck with a pirate sign on it. Really, the only risks and concerns are of government. Really, that's why we didn't let anyone know we're coming, because obviously we're going to promote my angle on it. Obviously, that's, I'm not going to tell you anything but what I believe, and that is that I think this is probably a great thing. We're going to find out for ourselves today, but really the risk was if government people found out we're coming, they may not want us to let people know. This is pretty nice. A lot of people will say, what about speed limits? What would happen if there's no cops? It's like everything's so nice and slow and tranquil here, and we're going to find out for ourselves exactly how things run. But you brought up there's been a lot of problems in this state, Michoacan, mostly all done by the government. It was about just last year, and this was not covered by any of the mainstream media, of course, and the official story came out. But the true story that we've heard from people on the ground so far is that government helicopters came in, and they said they're looking for a criminal, which they are the criminals, but they just started shooting up a little town around here. They said in the official story from the government that 6 people were injured. We've heard at least 6 people were killed, and maybe quite a few more than that, including a few little girls and things like that. So that's really the risk, is the government still. They're still around. That's the only risk that I see here.
Yeah, and the cover-up of what exactly happened down here, which the media, again, didn't do a fair job covering, and that's why we're down here trying to report and find out and investigate everything that's happening here. Because, more and more I start traveling around the world, more and more I see really government as the main problem. You look at the corporatocracy, it is empowered primarily by government. All the monopolies, all the tax incentives, all the tax breaks, all the seed funding, all the money. Even when it comes to tech monopolies like Google and Amazon, even Facebook, they wouldn't exist. Even Barack Obama said all those institutions wouldn't exist if it wasn't for government funding. So again, now they're creating huge monopolies. Now they're censoring people online. The information warfare has been heating up on such an incredible level. But again, the more I travel everywhere, the more people are like, government is not the answer. I don't like government. The government's in our way. The government is extorting us. The government is taking our money away. The government is making it harder to even just do regular business with. And it's really just incentivized with all the criminal activities. And people always ask, what's going to happen? What will happen if they get rid of the police, if they get rid of control, if they get rid of government, if they get rid of centralization? It's going to be chaos. It's going to be horrible. Well, we're here to investigate. Jeff, you have a lot of different things that you want to do here because you got inspired by the story. What do you want to do here in Cheran?
When I didn't actually know about it until recently. I don't know how I didn't know about it. They've actually been pretty autonomous here for about 10 years. And it's just about a 9-hour drive from Acapulco. So as soon as I found out about it, I said, we got to do this. And we've been incredibly busy, but you flew down on short notice and we just came right here. I want to see what it's like. I also want to meet the people that have been a part of making this happen and really congratulate them and offer our support in any way we can, whether it be perhaps investing in this area if they're interested in that, whatever they're interested in, perhaps getting some crypto things involved here. Some people are talking about that. We're here some people with some crypto things. And I also want to invite some of the main people here, or actually everyone. I'm putting this out as an open invitation. Everyone in Cheran has a free ticket to Anarcapulco, and if they really want to come, we'll send buses up here and we'll bus them down because they're actually real heroes to me. They've done what we've been talking about, and that's one of the big things that a lot of people say on the internet. It's like, you guys talk about this paradise, this idea. It's a crazy idea. Well, they've done it here, and we're doing it in different areas as well. In Liberland, we're doing it, and we went to Somalia to see if that was anarchy. It's not. It's all governments fighting over the area, and the people there don't really even want. In that area, they kind of want government and stuff like that. So that's what people always say. Somalia is anarchy, and what they say about Mexico, and this is what they always do, is the U.S. media and State Department say Mexico's dangerous. You've been down here so many times, you know it's the exact opposite of that. But the reason they say it's dangerous is because they don't have a big fascist giant government here in Mexico. So when they're saying it's dangerous, what they're saying is they don't have a big government like we have in the U.S., so you better not go there. You might have some problems because they don't even have police in some of these places. It's like, yeah, it's much better.
Yeah, and the story is a lot more convoluted. It's not as simple as they make it out to be, like in the state of Guerrero, which doesn't pay a lot of taxes to the big federal government, and the federal government does send out a lot of advisories telling people not to go there for that specific reason. There's a lot of intertwined business angles in all of this, but it's a very just simple idea. Don't mess with people, don't rob with people, don't hurt people, and this town exemplifies that. This town was getting extorted through the politicians who were illegally logging here, destroying the environment, to the point where they were also threatening the water for this entire town. And then the indigenous people, and including the women here, led an investigation, and then they led a revolution here that overthrew first the illegal loggers that was destroying their environment, but then after that, the politicians and police that were enabling it, and they kicked them out of this town. And again, people would expect, what's going to happen if there's no police? Well, this is a great example of that we're going to go investigate, and now they're working with local decentralized councils and community people people that get, changed from their position of power every few years, and it's all done through a local, decentralized community effort that's rebuilding the environment and making it better for everyone here. So this really is just an example. We still are going to investigate everything. We still haven't even, we just literally just entered Cheran. We just wanted to release this video before we release the full documentary of everything that we find out here. We're going to be talking to a town elder, and I'm really just excited to hear some of the stories. Already we have one local here showing us around, telling us some of those stories, and they're just absolutely incredible. So definitely stay tuned, definitely subscribe to this channel, get the notification. We are going to be releasing videos. Jeff is going to be releasing videos on the Dollar Vigilante on his YouTube channel from his experiences here, but this is only the beginning. Very exciting story that we're working on that, again, we're releasing right after we get out for safety purposes because of government. Anything else you'd like to say, Jeff?
I'd just say we'll see how many views this gets, because obviously this goes against what the big corporatocracy really wants to get out there. And we've seen with YouTube, with the censorship, you've been demonetized for years now. We'll see if this even gets on YouTube. That's basically where we're at now. So don't just watch this on YouTube. Get on things like Steemit, get on things like DTube. Definitely get on Luke's email list, because probably when it's probably not if, it's probably when they just shut him off, just like they did with Alex Jones. He can then still send you his videos and let you know of all the videos he's doing. And really that's the war that's going on. It's a war of information. They don't want people to know what's going on.
Yeah, and the tech monopolies want government because they're empowered by government, and they work with them. They also spy on us, and there I could get into so many other issues. But regardless of that, stay tuned for the feature-length documentary that we're working on here. I love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting our work, donating to us, and making this work possible. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here in Michoacan, Mexico, of all places. So, love you guys. Stay tuned for a lot more.